the Castries Market from 8 p.m. Admission only $10. Featuring Out of the Country Doctors, The King of Country, Remix Kid, St. Lucia's #1 country and western DJ, DJ Tim Tom, and the entertainer, DJ Leroy. Lots of giveaways on the nights. Lovers Nights, Saturday, February 14th. One spot, one venue. Upstairs, the Castries Market. Lovers, get ready. See you there.
Either one of us has that much to lose.
Get ready for an unforgettable experience as we celebrate our 47th independence. The Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with the Independence Committee present the Independence Seafood Festival. This is the right mood. Enjoy a delicious variety of seafood. Eat fresh into Lucia's best. 22nd February, are you ready? At the Fisheries Complex, Castries, what a festivity! From 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. For sure there will be entertainment galore. DYP, Invader, Amber, Ezra, the Fun Machine, Impulse Band, Secret Band, East Coast Band, Woolly Tay Tay, Serpents, Arthur Allen, and lots more, hosted by Jaheim. Younger children will have loads of fun in the kids zone. Independence Seafood Festive, Sunday 22nd.
Are you ready to make your mark in the media industry? NBC and Real FM are looking for fresh talent to join our team. We are currently seeking a dynamic radio DJ and announcer for Real FM, and also a skilled camera operator and editor for NBC. Apply today. Send your applications to jobs@nbcslu.com. Don't wait. The deadline is February 12, 2026.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Wednesday afternoon to you, everyone. Thank you so very much for tuning in again for The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside my co-host / co-producer, Terry Fenelon, who's back with us today after having to miss the program yesterday, and our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Our program airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on this radio station, Real FM, that serves you on the frequencies of 91.3 megahertz for the North, 91.5 South. We simulcast on NBC Television, Channel 120, on the Flow Cable TV service, and we're also available on Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming. It is the 11th day of the month of February 2026. You notice this, I'm getting the dates right here. Am I not, Jaquan? You know, I'm not missing the dates. I wonder what happened to 2026, that my mind has become sharper despite the fact, that I'm aging and I'm getting old and I'm getting, Asuko Te Rigi Dik, whatever it is. But I'm grateful for that. Yeah, and yesterday was a day that had some kind of significance. It marked, the 1st of March will mark exactly 4 years since we started the Real Issues program. But I arrived in St. Lucia about 3 weeks before, and for the next 3 weeks, myself, Nigel Nicholas, and a guy who's since moved on to other things called Diego Baptist. Yeah, we spent all that time knocking heads and planning, what were we going to do with that program, how we were going to proceed with it, and so on. But it was on the 10th of February 2022 that I landed here after about, 6 years in Antigua. Previously, I had spent a stint of about 4 years, so in all, I've spent about 10 years living in Antigua, but I'd been out there for about 6 years, I think. And then I came back. The COVID pandemic was still on. Landed here, it felt kind of weird, all the security checks and paperwork, that I had to present. Shouldn't have found it so weird, because I needed to get all of that done. Back in Antigua, all the, the certificates and all, doctor had to come to my home to check me out for this and that and to put me through the paces because, COVID was no laughing matter. It was no joke. And let's not forget what it was. As I've said, I'm a pro-vax person because I remember the time when they said that the pandemic essentially showed itself to be a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Always all the people who were dying, who were coming down with it and having to be hospitalized were unvaccinated people. Now, that's not to say I am discounting or poo-pooing the misgivings and the doubts and the skepticism that many people had about it, but I'll say something that maybe I should have said a long time before so people would have understood me better. A lot of those questions, a lot of those doubts about the vaccine began when the Americans entered the fray. Up until the time where it was the Oxford AstraZeneca, which I think was one of the first ones to roll out, up until the time where it was the Russian Sputnik, up until the time where it was the Chinese Sinovac, the Cubans had their own. You didn't hear too much vaccine skepticism and blaming. It was when the always highly competitive Americans who cannot bear to see anybody outdoing them in anything, may not be a bad thing, makes them competitive, and they've been responsible for a lot of research and development. It was from the time I noticed that the Pfizer and the Johnson and Johnson and what was the other name that was there? There were some big names, the Pfizer, the Johnson and Johnson and whatever the names were, those American vaccines came on the scene. That's when all the quarreling about vaccine safety and all those things, and it became so politicized against Fauci and Donald Trump. Well, anywhere Donald Trump is, it's always going to be politicized. It's always going to be something that is all about a fight between this person and the Merck. Merck is the other big name and so on. It was from that time I noticed that the quarrel and the doubts and all the thing began up until the point that it was the Oxford AstraZeneca and those other vaccines that came out earlier. We did not have all those kind of things. And I am not a scientist. I cannot say for a fact that's what happened. But I know with the competitiveness of those Americans, I mean, come on. In 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, building commercial aircraft is no longer Oxford's, how we call that?
Boeing.
Yeah. Not Oxford. I wanted to say it's no longer rocket science. You understand? I mean, a company like Boeing, one of the oldest, one of the most successful, one of the most efficient. They produce aircraft not just for civilian but for military uses. They have a great record. All of a sudden, Boeing cannot build. People have to be afraid of 737 MAX and this plane is falling from the sky and the engines are cutting off and the computer programming is going all awry on it. And the worst I felt was when doors in mid-flight were blowing off. In the early days of aviation, in the early days of commercial aviation, airliners had this problem. They couldn't get the pressurization right because it's not just pressurizing the plane. If you don't do it at that height, people can't breathe. People will suffocate. Rather than air going into your body, the lower air pressure outside is going to pull air from your body. So you're going to suffocate and pass out in quick time. Hypoxia, low oxygen to the brain. A lot of these blowouts, they compensated by pressurizing the planes too much. And in mid-flight, when you reach that height, where the outside pressure is so much lower now than the pressure inside the plane, the pressure differential turns the plane into a flying bomb. Just the air pressure inside blast out the doors and the windows and so on. But, in the quarter way through the 21st century, that was no longer an issue for American planes, door blowing out. And with what airline? With Boeing. Why? Because a European consortium called Airbus, was now having great success with commercial aircraft manufacturing and military too as well. But they build this huge plane which dwarf the 747 Jumbo and A380, I think. I mean, this thing can hold so many more passengers. The engines on that thing are super powerful to lift it off the ground. And Boeing wanted to catch up to make sure that Airbus don't outdo them, don't get more of the market share and so on. And a lot of those planes, they didn't properly test them. They rushed them to market. They rushed them into production. And then you had the embarrassment of a company like Boeing, having planes, doors are blowing out mid-air and planes crashing. People who had the planes returned them, they grounded the fleet, they don't know what to do it and so on. And I suspect this is the same thing that happened with the vaccines. If there's money to be made from the United Nations COVAX facility and the government paying, in big bulk amount for it, so you want to get in there, you want to get a piece of the action, and that is where a lot of the problems with those vaccines and all the different things that they said were causing them what was the name, mRNA vaccines and the technology, but I think up to that point only the Americans were really using it. The Russians weren't using it in the Sputnik, the Chinese weren't using it in Sinovac. This person is the Americans that came with their novelty and so on and all. So this thing where we are anti-vaccine, a generic generalized umbrella kind of way, I kind of felt it was unjustified. We have to put it where it was. In everything you're going to have how you call that, the exceptional case. So I'm sure AstraZeneca had its exceptional cases. You get bad reactions to penicillin, you get bad reactions to the polio shot, to this, that, in very small amount of people, but not the amount of problems that we heard about with those. At least this is my view, folks. 7 days from today, on the 18th, I said I landed in St. Lucia on the 10th of February 2022. Coming back, I still remember that was the first time in years, and I was so happy. I said that has to be a good sign, a good thing. My friend Alicia Baptist, she's the former president of the Nurses Association and so on, a real veteran in the nursing business. Very nice lady to me. Over the years, and know her for quite some time. I believe she is the sister of Lady Lynn. I think Lady Lynn, they have some relationship, yeah?
I'm not sure.
Or brother, no, she's Lady Lynn's sister-in-law. That's right. Nurse Baptist here. So, there's some kind of connection, and I'm just reflecting, what a nice rapport I've had with those people. So, Nurse Alicia Baptist, I don't know if you're still involved in nursing or if you've sailed off into the sunset of retirement, but I remember that because of coming back that day and you, a few things of mine needed a little tweaking here and there, and she handled me very well at the George F.L. Charles Airport where she was stationed at the time. So, my greetings to you. The very same night that I came back, the 10th, it was a Thursday, I was on the show in the evening with Richard Vedrick, on the Thursday night. So that heralded my return to St. Lucia. So, 4 años, since what's it, Miguel? Since I regresar a Santa Lucia. Okay, so I'm happy to be back, and it's been a good 4 years doing the real issues, which will have its 4th anniversary on the 1st of March. All right, folks, so much that we can talk about, but I was saying 7 days from today will mark the official start of the Lenten season. It will be Ash Wednesday next week. So to those of you who are religious, who are minded in that direction, maybe you can start preparing for your various observances and all the little things that you'll be doing. I hope you don't have ambitions to fast for 40 days and 40 nights. Some of you can pull it off, but when you do, maybe I don't want to know what's the result. That is, if you don't cheat, of course, if you don't wake up one of those nights and feel as if you're dying. But of course, when most people talk about fasting, they're not talking about a complete abstinence. What they're talking about, they might take a little light soup, avoid meat, they might do this, they might fast for 4 out of the 7 days, but eat in between, every other day or every, so that the week is taken up. Fast are not absolute things. And I don't know if they meant that in the ancient times, in the biblical times and so on. But it might be good not to wait until it comes, to begin to map out, to begin to plan out how you're going to observe it, how you're going to do it, if in fact you believe in those things. Right now, we still have, it seems, a little odd shower that, comes along to sprinkle the ground and other things, once in a while. But we can expect, and we've been warned, that as we go deeper into the Lenten season, which people would refer to as Takawem, the real dry season and the drought and all of that. I think that is one of the reasons why we have the Jazz Festival around this time of the year. There's, of course, it has been affected by rain. I remember one year that guy, Babyface, Kenneth Babyface Edmonds, yeah, he came and completely washed out, But he said, no, rain or not, he's going to come and he's going to do even if it's without band, just do a little a cappella. And, people appreciated that he wanted to see to it that people didn't go. So, we've had a little, the rain can come at any time. But apart from the season where the weather is generally good, we know the Jazz Festival is placed coming at the end of the winter tourist and cruise season, where the cruise ships will become less and less and stop. So you want something else to give that jolt, to give that jumpstart, that fillip to your tourism industry, to bring visitors to our shores. So we can look forward to that as well. But that is the rationale, the Whit Monday time. I think in previous years, we used to have something called Aqua Action, around that time. And again, because of the weather, along the Independence, we used to have some twinning and pairing with Martinique. I think, what was the name? There was some town in Martinique where Grosili was twinned with and so on. And we used to have artisanal boat races, the Couscanot Gommier, the Gommier boat races and so on. So we've had a lot of fun things in St. Lucia. Maybe we need to revisit some of them. Maybe we need to revisit things like Shazi and Cuthbert Didier's linking up for the Mercury Beach. I think the Mercury brand is not what it was, so maybe now maybe it has become the Yamaha. We always knew it was a big brand when it came to outboard engines and so on. We need to revisit, and I'm going into those things because we need to have more outlets for recreation. We need to have more outlets for relaxation and fun, particularly for the young people. I've mentioned about the need to have some car racing track here, Formula One racing and so on, so that, our people in St. Lucia and the Caribbean, but especially in St. Lucia, the men always feel they're the best drivers, All the St. Lucian, there is one place you're not supposed to argue for St. Lucian guy or tell him anything. Otherwise, they always maintain they're the best driver. And I have to say, we have some fellas, they're good. They're so good that they're bad. They're so good that if you see they have the proper facilities and they really get to, practice and to flex themselves, I have a feeling when we bring, the car racing and it grows to Formula One status and so on, a lot of other countries in the Caribbean will start to want to play catch up, and maybe names we hear like Verstappen and so fellas. Look how they say books are there.
Lewis Hamilton.
Look how they say books are there, don't know. So I hope going forward we can.
You had Abulo,
you know what I mean? Once a person have a bulo, All right, so, these are good times. We face challenges, but this is the time where we have to close ranks. This is the time where we have to show cohesion.
That's right.
The external pressures are already manifesting themselves. They're manifesting themselves on what has happened with us and Cuba and the Cuban doctors who have come here to give such great human, altruistic service, to us and to help us with eye care problems and a whole host of other things with education. We can see the storm clouds on the horizon. What has happened in Venezuela probably means that assistance that they were willing to give us, could have given us and so on, with their oil revenue and so on, that's probably going to be something that's there, don't know, actual Messiah. So this is a time where we as a people, we have to close ranks. And nobody is telling you not to be political and not to be passionate about this. Folks, we just had an election. What we are facing ahead, whether it is within our shores with the water problems, whether we will have to go through the expensive process of removing salt from seawater, desalination and so on, so we can get some water and so on to drink because the forests are gone. We need the land to build houses. Climate change is affecting a whole lot of different things. We're going to have challenges, and the challenges will mean that we have to put our heads together. We have to make some sacrifices. We have to sometimes, the taste that we have something, understand that it will not be the same way. Whether it is a new hotel that is to be built, I appeal to those of us who our view of the ocean may be affected to think also about 500 jobs for school leavers. We have a set of young people in the thousands leaving school every year, leaving secondary school every year.
1,000.
What's that?
2,000.
Right. Jobs have to be found for them. Employment, a means until when maybe they can, with youth economy, skills and experience, that they can become job creators themselves. But it takes a little time. You have to learn to walk before you can run. And you often have to learn to be someone who follows before you yourself develop into a leader. So let us think along those lines. It's our St. Lucia, the St. Lucia of our children, the St. Lucia of our family. And there's no better time of the year to turn our minds towards this than this month of February, our Independence Month, you know, the month where the Lenten season will kick off, where we're supposed to be doing a lot of reflection, where we're supposed to be thinking in terms of love, in terms of reaching out to others, because a lot of the things that we need, we're going to have to figure it out for ourselves. Terry.
Yeah, you said a lot, Shelton. Well, my friends are just keeping me up to date with West Indies, the progress of West Indies. We look like we should pull through.
Okay.
We scored 190 something. England are 141 for 7.
Okay.
So, fingers crossed.
After how many overs?
I suspect it's about 15 or 16 overs.
Okay.
So, we keep the fingers crossed
something,
there.
if we can beat England,
I
would say that's a good feat, you know.
Yeah.
The other day against Ireland, you know, West Indies, they sometimes do well against, you know, what you consider the more lapo. But I have to tell you this, I saw a game between Afghanistan and Australia.
Oh, nil biter.
That was nil biter. They had to take 3 super overs.
3 or 2?
Yeah, no, 3. I think Afghanistan took the first one. They scored 17. Australia came, they scored, not Australia, South Africa. Right? They came, they scored the same 17. So on the third one, because Afghanistan took 2 turns at it, they had to score 24 runs off their 6 ball. And you know, the guys almost made it. Yeah. They had to hit 4 sixes. They hit 3 sixes. They took a single. There were a couple of no balls. In the end, they needed 2 runs.
Yeah.
The guy who was batting, something tells me if he had left the ball alone, it would have been called a wide. Yeah. But it's too much of a risk to take. Yeah. So he flashed his bat at it, and then he was caught, you know.
These teams are no walkover, you know. There are no walkovers. Yeah. Remember I told you last week that if we can make it out of the group stages, we'll be in the finals. I'm not calling it that because I need to know who our opponents are, because we have the depth in batting. I think we are batting up to number 7.
Yes.
And that is something, you know. The bowling here is a little suspect, but if we can post runs on the board, scoreboard pressure.
The other day I saw UAE give England
a good run. Yeah, they lost by 4 runs.
Good run. So, and I'm saying, but if those teams...
No push-up. Nepal is not a pushover.
Yeah, that you would consider to be the underdogs and so on. I mean, be very careful. Yeah.
So once we make it out, I mean, if we pull through today, that means we have 2 wins under our belt. Maybe we just need 1 more.
Yes.
And then we can, because we have the batting depth, you know. The toss plays a role, you know. Yeah. You put the runs on the board, you back yourself. Because scoreboard pressure not easy, you know. Let me tell you something. When you're chasing 190 something and wickets start to fall there, you panic and you do stuff. So I think we have a very good chance of going deep into that tournament, because the batting is there. And Poran is not even there, unfortunately. Well, he retired, but stuff. So I listened to you on Jaime this morning about patriotism.
Okay.
So Jaquan, you could play your voiceover? I mean, we need to every now and then play that, Shelton.
Yeah.
Every day we need to remind our people.
With God as my guide, I pledge allegiance to my country, St. Lucia. I proclaim that I will serve my country with pride and dignity, and will defend it with vigor and valor in the pursuit of excellence, justice, and equality for all. With God as my guide, I pledge allegiance to my country, St. Lucia. I proclaim that I will serve my country with pride and dignity, and will defend it with vigor and valor in the pursuit of excellence, justice, and equality for all.
Times when we have to close ranks. I mean, I listened to Mia Motley for her reasons for calling early elections. She followed PJP, you know. The change in the geopolitics. Right. And of course, that was because Sheldon, could you imagine we're going into January, February, all what's happening there?
Yes.
The kind of noise from the opposition. Oh, that would have been unbearable, man. You know, because in that time, you know, what makes sense, you know, in terms of geopolitics, local politics is nonsense. So we'd have had a serious issue on our hands to combat misinformation. You understand? So she said she looked at the geopolitics, the change in the geopolitics, and crime to her, national security. So she called the election. And we're hoping, well, by 10 o'clock, as you said this morning, we should be hearing something.
10 o'clock?
Yeah, by 10 in the evening.
Oh, you said this morning?
No, you were on Jaim this morning.
Okay.
This afternoon. So,
Okay.
you should be hearing something. Let's see how it works out in Barbados. Whether they'll get all 30, we don't know. We don't know. But let's see what's happening. Shelton, yesterday I think the calls interrupted you. You were batting well, on the VG Beach. Maybe we can just
of course.
talk about it before. I have a couple of videos of students and the choir because I want us as parents and adults to encourage our children. I don't want to blight us, but every time you talk about something, like what you call the Empire's curse. A man is on 95 and the Empire says he's about to get 100 and he gets out.
All right.
When there's certain things, a lull in certain things, and you mention it, something happens to embarrass you. So I'm not going to say it, but there's a lot happening. You should notice there's a calm. You understand? There's a calm. But you were talking about the VG Beach and the petition.
Right.
And you see the misinformation again. First thing you're hearing, you're seeing. I mean, some people, I don't know. Some of you really need a dose of the Holy Ghost. Yeah, because that's the only way you could, you need a real dose of the Holy Ghost.
Avoid being a sunballot.
Yeah. No, some of us, the VG Beach is sold. Now, when you hear that, you figure, Shelton, VG Beach is sold.
Yeah, they said the Castries Harbour was sold.
Sold too. We sold the Castries Harbour. VG Beach is sold.
What?
VG Beach was sold? And Shelton, VG Beach is my happy place. I'm there almost every day, morning and sometimes afternoons. That's my place. I go and relax, play my music. I swim. That's how I exercise. Try to keep in shape. I don't know what shape I am. But I try to keep in good shape. And I heard VG Beach is sold, and I'm wondering what the people are talking about. Now the reporters, Shelton, I don't know if my cardinal points are bad. They keep saying the eastern end of VG Beach. That cannot be the eastern.
Yeah, that has to
That's
be
the
western
end.
Yes.
I mean, reporters, come on.
Yeah, the orient.
That's the western end
the orientation
of VG
is
Beach.
bad, yes.
Yeah,
Without
the orientation. And you all keep repeating that. I'm like, even the developer I heard saying that too. It's not the eastern end of VG Beach, it's the western end. Now, Shelton, it's a portion of land there. Now, listen, I'm not taking any sides. I'm not. I don't know developers. Nobody pays me to say anything. I Shelton can attest. But I'm a frequent user. I use the beach there nearly every morning. Every day, so to speak. Sometimes I go there and I take out pictures and I tease Albert Fridges to let him know, I see Jack Glory and take out the nice photos. We exchange photos because his beach is up north, mine is Fiji. Now, that portion of land, as you correctly said, Shelton, there was a hotel there before. Now, don't get me wrong, the hotel was, I think, 2 stories. Yes, ground floor, 2 stories. Red Lion, VG Beach Hotel, Blue Waters. The name is insignificant.
Yes.
And as a college boy, Marsha boy, college boy, where we park our vehicles now to shower, just further back was the pool. Now, college boys.
Okay.
As Carlton rightly says, when you come down the field, college field, you know what was at the bottom of college field?
Of course, yes.
Just at the bottom of college field?
What was there?
A club. Octagon. You remember that?
Okay.
That was owned by Pat Brown. The Octagon.
Okay. Did it ever go for another name again after?
I'm not sure, but it was the Octagon and stuff.
Okay.
And then we crossed. There was a little shortcut. We crossed over. And Shelton had no time. Because I played a lot of football. Not that I'm a top footballer. I lapo. According to the fellas, lapo. But I played football. I used to take my sweat, go home from college. We could have crossed the airport. Take my brother's Wembley.
Yes, I remember the crossing the airport.
Take my brother's Wembley because my eldest brother, he always had a Wembley home. Either we go Marsha grounds to play, run back up, from Marsha back to big football matches going on, cricket. We played that. There was beach cricket and thing. Nobody ever stopped us from using the beach, even though they were. And we, as college boys, we're not here already. Sometimes when we come from, we passing a shortcut and things. Some of us taking a bath. We go in the people's pool because the pool was right, bordering the just the high water mark there and stuff. Now, Shelton, the issue, the issue, and I could understand that. Because one morning after getting out from the beach, rinsing and stuff, driving out, I'm seeing this big poster. You always have this. At 10-story building and the 6-story. Now I think that might be the issue for me, because Shelton, you look at the space there. You have to have parking for about 150 vehicles. The kind of pressure. And I think if I listen to Mr. Volney, the young man who spoke, I don't think he had any, he was not opposed to development. You cannot oppose development, you cannot oppose that. There must be development. But a 10-story building next to the airport, I don't know what the aviation people will say about that. Right. Because that might be in the flight path of the,
yes,
etc.
And I'm just thinking, do we have 10-story buildings anywhere?
That's what I'm saying. Bank of St. Lucia is what, 6 stories?
To me, I don't know of any.
Bank of St. Lucia is 6 stories.
That's 10 stories.
And I see, I think it's 5 or 6 stories. Then you're going to put there on that piece of land.
I don't know of any that go above
6 stories. So 10 stories, and then you have the 6-story apartment, and that's for staff and stuff. You're going to have parking, the pressures and water. So I could understand the issue, the height of that, because that to me that would be almost an ISO there, the kind of price. That's my view. I'm not saying I'm not against the development. I think when they go back to the drawing board, they must look at that. 3 stories, we can do that. Now people are saying that you will not have access. Shelton, if you know the area well, there is no way in, can I say hell? There is no way in hell, sorry, you could prevent us from accessing that beach. You'll have to put that. You cannot do that. That's an open, just as Stolen Times, it used to be Rendezvous before.
All right.
Malabar Beach Hotel. That's on the eastern end now, at the end. You go there, Shelton, nobody bothers you, As a matter of fact, in my younger days, I'm not older, but when the knees were permitting, and I used to run up and down the beach there. Right. When I reached by Stolen Times, it's now Stolen Times, it was Rendezvous, Malabar Beach Hotel. And that's why I used to exercise and stuff and do my business there. The tourists and stuff there. Well, nobody ever bothered me. Fellas playing football there, etc. Nobody ever bothered anybody. You swim and stuff. We live harmoniously. So I do not see the issue where people are saying, they wanted to be a jag, don't want me to be for my beach situation. I don't see that. Then I'm not batting for the developers, no. You understand? And that was not so. That was always private property. That's the thing people are missing, This was always private property. And somebody says, well, the government should have acquired it. No, to spend $30 million there when Wasco needs pipes to be changed, that cannot be the priority for our government now. True. When we are clamoring for water and stuff, take $30 million to buy that portion of land just so that we can go there, park our cars, do other things too in the dark of night too, etc. No. That cannot be a priority for a government at this time. That was private. That was in private hands. What we can do now is tell the developers, hey, that 10-story thing there, that's going to be an eyesore. I don't think the aviation people will acquiesce to that. That might be a problem. That's in the flight path, etc. So I see that is the issue for me. Accessing the beach, yes, people on the beach. Let me tell you something, Shelton. You see, I think we have 3 or 4 cruise ships in the harbor now. If you go to Fiji Beach now, Shelton,
right?
Oh man, the vendors are making a brisk shred on their chairs. Now I used to swim sometimes on afternoons. Now when I reach at that point, I'm happy. Why? Because there is economic activity. Right. I mean, we are telling people what we have is sea, water, and sun. That's what Chongla said.
Exactly.
We are inviting the people to come and enjoy what we have, and that is what we have. We cannot be vexed and say that before locals. Usually, these people are there just for 2 hours. You see our boy, the chicken, Skinny, with his choo-choo train, bringing the visitors there, the buses. They come there, they are light and stuff. You know how many wonderful conversations I have struck up in the water with the tourists when they're there. Okay. You understand? I have met ENT specialists, I have met doctors, lawyers, accountants, and some of them, are brave to talk. Some are very standoffish. They don't want you. Sometimes you even feel they're racist because when you enter the water, they're going out. Right. But I met a lot of people, and then we talk, and then they're asking me what's the building on top of the hill, St. Mary's College, and I'm using that to talk about Arthur and Derek, and they were like, serious? And I struck up wonderful conversations. Now I'm not vexed when I go there and I see the beach chairs out there and stuff. No, you're crazy. I'm happy. Let the people enjoy what we invite them for. I have access to the beach when they go, or even before and during. That has not prevented me. That has not intimidated me. So I don't see what. And the people who complain, a lot of the people who make a complaint, they don't go to Fiji. I go tell you, Shelton, if you accompany me on a morning, I go on a morning.
But they don't live there. So.
When you see we leave, the group of us, when we leave the water at after 7 or stuff, that the beach is empty. People come there at lunchtime, they stay in their vehicles, they condition up and saying they have their lunch and stuff and they go back to work. Hardly very few people use the beach. You understand? So, I mean, I could understand every time, there's a hotel on a beach, people want, hey, leave that for the locals and thing. But of course, nobody's going to prevent you. You understand? And I'm not trying to poo-poo anybody's suggestion. I'm just telling you from what I know and what I can see. What will affect me is, though, I will not be able to drive on the property and park my vehicle where I normally park, on the trees, because there's a drain, everything west of that drain is the people's property, except, and you heard the minister, the King's Chain, you can have that. So we have that. We have access. You understand? But I know I'll not be able to drive right in. I'll have to stay on the eastern side of the drain and just minor relocation. That is about 20 feet.
Which is something we were accustomed
to anyway.
Yes. There was a property there.
But the private property we have been invading, going on the private property, parking, and it's nice.
Yes.
And we talk, we swim, we talk, those who walk after walking, and we talk a whole, I tell you that's a real issues group there. We talk a whole bunch of crap. You understand? But to say that the beach was sold, that is misinformation. That has always been private property. There was a hotel there before. Now, I'm not saying because there was one that must, yes, but it is private, and you cannot tell a man who has land and he wants to develop his land that he cannot develop his land.
Right.
You understand? What we have to do, we have to work nicely. It used to happen as a college boy in the 70s. Going there, playing our football, big football going on there, 11 aside, 11 aside, and we're playing cricket too. You understand? Right there in front of the hotel. You cannot block us from accessing that. That is free and open, just as the beach in front of Stolen Times, what used to be a rendezvous in Malabar. It's accessible, so I don't see, the concern for me is the height of that. I think that is going to be a lot of pressure on that piece of land there. When you talk about, 10 stories, you're going to talk about packing 150 at least, and stuff like that. The water situation that's already bad. Talking about, no, if we have to act, if the government had 30 million, I'll tell them invest it in the water situation in Wasco, because that's a problem. So, Shelton, yes, I understand the concerns, but I am not very much alarmed there because in the past, we always had access. You cannot block access. The only thing I think now, I would say, for the college boys coming down, if they leave the path, because we always had access to the beach, coming from college, come down the shortcut, pass on the field, and we just cross on the beach, onto the beach, and onto the onto the highway. All right, Shelton?
All right.
I think it's way
West
past
Indies
time.
won by 30 runs.
Great stuff.
Yes,
Great
yes.
stuff. Great stuff.
In 19 overs, I think.
Great
England
stuff.
all out for 166. Yeah, so
Yes. Great stuff.
West Indies are victorious in this one, and that's very significant.
6, yes, man. England, yes,
It was
man.
against England that they were playing when they made that spectacular 4 sixes.
Yes.
Carlos Brathwaite, remember
the name.
in the last one.
He didn't live up to the name, but
So let us hope that the West Indies go on
will go far.
to great things.
Yeah, so that's 2
Yeah.
on our belt.
If they do that,
need one more.
If they do, that will be 3.
Yes.
With Darren Sammy at the helm this time as coach. Selector, and so on.
Yeah.
So I think in St. Lucia would have reason to feel proud.
Oh, yes.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. Terry acquiring some of my bad habits, going 10 minutes over the break. But, he did so with my full concurrence. We'll be back shortly.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It's Lovers Night.
Lovers Night.
On Saturday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, we're all heading upstairs the Castries Market. Call up that loved one, that special someone, and roll out and enjoy a night dedicated to all lovers. Upstairs the Castries Market from 8 p.m. Admission only $10. Featuring out of the country doctors, the king of country, Remix Kid, St. Lucia's #1 country and western DJ, DJ Tim Tom, and the entertainer, DJ Leroy. Lots of giveaways on the night. Lovers Night, Saturday, February 14th. One spot, one venue. Upstairs, the Castries Market. Lovers, get ready. See you there.
Either one of us has that much to lose.
Get ready for an unforgettable experience as we celebrate our 47th independence. The Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with the Independence Committee present the Independence Seafood Festival. This is the right mood. Enjoy a delicious variety of seafood. Eat fresh into Lucia's best. 22nd February, are you ready? At the Fisheries Complex, Castries, what a festivity! From 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. For sure there will be entertainment galore. DYP, Invader, Ampa, Ezra, the Fun Machine, Impulse Band, Secret Band, East Coast Band, Woolly Tay Tay, Serpents, Arthur Allen, and lots more hosted by Jahim. Younger children will have loads of fun in the kids zone. Independence Seafood Festival, Sunday 22nd.
Are you ready to make your mark in the media industry? NBC and Real FM are looking for fresh talent to join our team. We are currently seeking a dynamic radio DJ and announcer for Real FM, and also a skilled camera operator and editor for NBC. Apply today. Send your applications to jobs@nbcslu.com. Don't wait. The deadline is February 12th, 2026.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Appreciate you staying with the real issues, powered by Blue Waters, and to my friend, the lady from VG. I see your 2 voice messages coming in. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to them as yet. But I know, as we talk about the hotel, I know you'd react, You're worried about, as you approach or as you saunter into old age, into your twilight,
view and your,
your view and all these kind of things and so on. I would prefer you to be griping and belly aching about, your views and so on, than for your sight to be taken over by cataracts and glaucoma, so it doesn't matter. So at least you'll have your sight. Maybe they'd have developed the technology for transparency so you can see right through something, even though it is there. You never know. Science can do so many things. But I'll listen to your message, but I'm just telling in advance that I'm pretty sure that I know what the content of those messages are. Terry, at what point do we open the line?
Let me just say a few things too, because Shelton, apparently some people are angry about us. We highlighted the removal of the cows, or the process.
Yeah.
And the figure, a thing like that, SLP have to do that. Yes. Now, people, let me tell you something.
There should have been a referendum. It looks like everything the SLP do has to go to referendum.
Let me tell you something. People, whatever is happening in your community, no matter, once it is good, send it to us. We'll promote it. Because we need to promote what is good. Every little victory. Yes, PR, we're going to do that. You see, if we see Tommy clean another gutter, we're going to highlight that too, you know. Tommy, you stop cleaning gutters. You were nice in the house yesterday. I felt, you know, you were supportive.
To me, he represented the closest call when it comes to quality.
Yes, in there.
But I look at the maker and I say, you know, Alan Chastney, you have just been so badly
beaten.
You know, decimated and absolutely, you know, mauled and so on in an election. And look at the quality of what you bring. Bring Dominic Fede back to the Senate. Dominic Fede is so tiresome in his methods and tactics and so on. You bring him back. You bring in Elisha Norbert, who by no stretch of the imagination was ever impressive to anybody in that election.
Even than being rude, you know.
You know, and I'm saying, but you know,
telling the leader of government business, you made the point already. Move on. Twice, you know, it's not.
Yeah.
The lady has a 45 minutes responding. The lady, move on. We have heard that already.
And I'm saying to myself, when will people realize Alan Chastney is just not cut for it? You know, they gave him a taste of prime ministership once on, you know, early on and so on. Don't tell me there has not been enough time to review and to look at Alan Chastney and just look at the picks he's making in what is already a losing cause.
Leadership matters. So let me, what's his name again? Tommy, I'll give you a blues. But yesterday you tried, you know, you were supportive. You tried, you know, you tried a few under uppercuts, you know, which is good. I mean, good banter, good debate and stuff. But you were level-headed, you know, you were cogent. You made a suggestion that I liked very much about the police officers, you know, who have to take public transport and stuff. And I felt that was a very good observation, you know, because we need to, they are our law enforcement, you know, and we cannot have them exposed. So that point was an extremely good point. So the point I was making, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pay two of our children. I'm going to highlight Mr. Robert Rennie. There's the choir I sent to you just a while ago, and the one with the Anglican, the Anglican alumni do it. Like that, you know, the Teacher Bond and the other people from Anglican. Yeah, they won the Sagicor Nobel Laureate, I think, choir festival. So let's give them a little highlight there. Give Mr. Rennie a plug. He's doing excellent work with the National Schools Choir.
toi fais la jambe. Yes, real issues.
That is, and Shelton, that is the thing we have to highlight our young people.
Somebody from Beaufort says Beaufort Catholic Church Senior Choir needs a Robert Rennie in their lives.
Yes. This guy is phenomenal. I know him well. I know him personally. Phenomenal guy doing wonderful work, and the choir, the school's choir. So parents, what I'm saying, the after-school programs, encourage your children. Whether it be the choir, cadets. This helps, and we're doing so much now. I mean, the minister is now, the Prime Minister met with the leadership of CARE to see how we can have some kind of relationship, because a lot of our young men are going astray. Usually the young men, the ladies are the girls are really more focused, and we have to highlight that. So I'm going to appeal to you again, whatever it is. If you're patching a pothole, that is a problem. Send it to us. We will highlight it. Let the flowers be driven to drink.
Yes.
We don't care. We're highlighting everything that is good in our country. And when you see the cows are relocated in a new residence, let us say, let us know, send it to us so we can highlight it, because that has been a problem. People have lost their lives on this matter.
True.
So, at any point in time, Shelton, we can open the lines.
Yeah, somebody mentioned, they said, which Elisha Norbert are you talking about? Is it the one who now wants to get his job back desperately? Have you received his application?
Not yet.
He should have known it was a little young for him to retire.
That's right. Yeah.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. Our telephone lines are open for your calls. You can use the WhatsApp calling line, that is 487-9849, 758-487-9849. And you can WhatsApp call us, and you can also call us on the landline, which is 4533-911. That's where we're getting our first call. You're on the air. Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes. What I want to tell the opposition leader and his cabal, when they're making their contribution, speak for themselves. Don't speak for the whole of St. Lucia and St. Lucian. Because we had our mandate on the 1st of December, 2025. So when I heard it talking about, my taxes and railway and the people of St. Lucia, no, the people of St. Lucia, we spoke. You understand? Don't speak for us, because you're left on the same old note, and you'll start even worse. Alan Shaftney, they debating something in the house. You're all over the place and talking all kind of things about Madero and Ray. And he's just touching the issue about the bill, And the Speaker of the House tolerated that a lot, until when he came and said him like, hello, they've said nothing on the bill. So if he say he changed, that's what he said the last day he changed. For worse, because the man started already and he have venom in his speech already. You could see he have some venom already and going all over the place and talking a lot of nonsense and crap about tax and things. He's the same one that wanted to put tax on when I'm selling my coal. He's the same one that wanted to put tax on when I'm selling my black pudding. Is he forgotten? Come on, man. The people we already talk, man. Don't talk for us. Don't talk on our behalf and to the people of St. Lucia. For the people of St. Lucia. We are good for now, for another 10 years. Yeah. This is my contribution, man. Have a person.
Thank you.
All right, okay. Thank you very much, sir. 487-9849, that's the WhatsApp line. We just got a call on the landline, which is free now after this first call. So you can call either of them that best suits your particular circumstance. 4533-911, the local landline, and the 487-9849. Someone sends a message saying that Elisha, I assume they were talking about, is keeping some people's lives miserable, asking them for Danny Butcher's number or Kenson's number. because he's unemployed and needs his job back. Oh
yeah.
man, the heavy payout that Allen gives people to leave their jobs and so on. That should be able to remember, because the Titus Prevail must be a man who well set up there now. Stephen Favre, I think, had already retired from the diplomatic service, so that doesn't really bother him. Dominic Fady was already a guy with some serious thing from the rafting and from the boat steward days and so on. All of them are taken care of, but Alan Chastney must have given the fellas some serious money, Yeah, real issues here on the air. Go ahead. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Shelton Terry. Did I hear say that Chastney gave heavy payout?
Did you say that?
You would say Chastney gave heavy payout?
No, I say I'm assuming that people like Titus
Let me
Prevail.
tell you, if he gave heavy payout to the candidates, not all of them got it.
Okay, Marcella Johnson don't need that. We know that,
Pardon?
We know Marcella Johnson didn't need that. We know Peter Chico didn't need that, So we know some people they didn't need that. You understand?
Yeah. Those who didn't need it didn't get it. What?
Okay, all right. Okay.
What? But let me tell you something. Them fellas that left them big jobs, they live just so you know, and they collected. That is the little people that did not know how to demand that didn't get it. But Shelton, let me call. My real issue this afternoon is this. There are petitions online to save Vigi Beach. Is Vigi Beach in danger? From what I heard Terry say there, I don't see Vigi Beach in danger. But we have petitions online. We have people saying we don't need the development at Vigi Beach. And when I look at some of these people, they are not necessarily natives of this country. So why is it that they are the ones, and I'm not saying that if you're not a native and that you're a resident and something is not right, that you should not speak, but you should get information before speaking. Because from what I heard Terry say, and you as well, this is private property. So how on earth could you tell private people what to do with their property as long as they do not deny you access to the beach? But how is it already that we know access to the beach is going to be denied? Do we know that? Have you communicated with the relevant authorities to find out? I think some people are using this development to start unnecessary drama because they need drama in their lives.
Correct.
But let us wait, watch, and like Terry said, if it is the 10-story building that's the issue, maybe that's what we should complain about.
Yes.
But let us not complain about things or create stories that are not necessarily true. Because we have Mr. Philip Joseph Pierre and the government of the St. Lucia Labour Party for the next 5 years. And they will never do, Mr. Pierre will never undertake any development that is going to deprive St. Lucians of beach access when he was among those who stood up with Marjorie during that scenario. However, I wonder what these very people were during the Cabot scenario. That's a man, I got to put soup more in
Yeah, just let me pick back on that. I could understand the residents. That 10-story building there is just going to be an eyesore. It's going to be a problem. And I do not see the aviation people taking too kindly to that. I mean, you want the development, the land is there, etc. I mean, bring that down. I mean, 10 stories, that's too high.
We have another caller. Let's take that, possibly our last caller before we go to the commercial break. Real issues here on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, good day, Shelton.
Yeah, good day to you.
I guess they'll want to bring Gabby down to sing Jack Down Me to Be by the Beach. But if I know, when I used to come up, I know Vigi Beach is a long stretch of beach. So I'm just trying to figure out how will that development affect and people will not be able to go and go by the beach. Because some of the people, I think they've been ridiculous and they've been biased. I mean, we say we want development, we want to create employment, but at the same time, it becomes an issue. I understand what has happened before, especially with Sanders and all the other results. But at the end of the day, I mean, people have to balance it. So, Shelton, is it where there's the third building that started and it never finished? Is it where the result will be taking place? Is it
MBC kept showing that building. That building belongs to Pat Brown. It was supposed to be a hotel. It was a contention too, because the height of that building, etc. But that's about 40 years ago or something. So it's not that. It's a plot of land just on the western side of the beach, not eastern side, the western side. That was always private property. There was a hotel, 2-story. The footprint wasn't that bad.
All right, caller, we're getting someone else on the line. So you finished?
No problem. It's a private individual that's building. Okay. Anthony, I'm not forgetting you for your fruit trick.
All right. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Real Issues on the landline. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hello. All right. I think we're due for a break, right? So let's take the break. When we come back, maybe that person will find their way back. In fact, it's lighting up again, but we'll wait until the other side, Yes.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Are you ready to make your mark in the media industry? NBC and Real FM are looking for fresh talent to join our team. We are currently seeking a dynamic radio DJ and announcer for Real FM, and also a skilled camera operator and editor for NBC. Apply today. Send your applications to jobs@nbcslu.com. Don't wait. The deadline is February 12, 2026.
It's Lovers Night.
Lovers Night.
On Saturday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, we're all heading upstairs to Castries Market. Call up that loved one, that special someone, and roll out and enjoy a night dedicated to all lovers. Upstairs to Castries Market from 8 p.m. Admission only $10. Featuring out of the country doctors, the king of country, Remix Kid, St. Lucia's #1 country and western DJ, DJ Tim Tom, and the entertainer, DJ Leroy. Lots of giveaways on the night. Lovers Night, Saturday, February 14th. One spot, one venue. Upstairs, the Castries Market. Lovers, get ready. See you there.
Either one of us has that much to lose.
Get ready for an unforgettable experience as we celebrate our 47th independence. The Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with the Independence Committee present the Independence Seafood Festival. This is the right mood. Enjoy a delicious variety of seafood. Eat fresh into Lucia's best. 22nd February, are you ready? At the Fisheries Complex, Castries, what a festivity! From 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. For sure there will be entertainment galore. DYP, Invader, Amber, Ezra, the Fun Machine, Impulse Band, Secret Band, East Coast Band, Woolly Tay Tay, Serpent, Arthur Allen, and lots more hosted by Jaheim. Younger children will have loads of fun in the kids zone. Independence Seafood Festival, Sunday 22nd.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Real issues, and we go back to the phone lines. On the landline, we have someone waiting. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hello. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Did you press?
Yeah, I did. You can hear the person is there. Real issues. Are you there? All right. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to release the call. Yeah, person couldn't make it through. All right. This is the real issues, and you can call us on the WhatsApp line 487-9849 and also on the landline, which is 4533-911. So Terry, what's your verdict? You think we should go ahead with that hotel?
Yeah, the development will go ahead. I just think the height of that hotel, no.
But if you said the structure is already there or something?
No. There was a structure.
Okay.
Just 2 stories. That was just like if you go by stolen times.
Why do you think the 10 stories apart? Is it only because of the obstruction of the view?
But you see,
forget about the aviation people. They know what's right, what's within the regulations and not. Right. Because even without a structure there, you have a hill, a mountainside, which aircraft can't come into anyway. So it already represents a natural obstacle. So if you build a human obstacle, which is within the height and obstruction of the natural, landmass and so on, I don't see what it would be. So what would be your objection? But
you got to think of sometimes planes coming from the east, depending. But
they won't be flying into the VG Peninsula.
You don't know.
They won't be flying into the VG Peninsula where the college is and the Archbishop's residence.
We hope not. But whatever story, I mean, I could tell you my first impression of 10 stories, I was like, wow. And you know. I think you know the plot of land. What's it? How many acres? I'm not too sure.
They said about 5
acres. This goes around, and you have your 6-story building and stuff. To me, it almost looks like it might be beautiful, but still, from now, it might be a problem. The strain and the pressures on the water and everything else. That I'm not concerned about the beach use.
So what about if you make it a thing that they build the first desalination plant, that they have their own desalination plant and so on, instead of depending on our
Vasco's water.
Yeah. Suppose you're negotiating with them and say, look, that would be a lot of pressure on already scarce water resources and so on. So we want you all to build a desalination plant.
Well, that would be something for the developers and the residents. I think they need to sit and discuss these things, because I think there's always a middle ground, Shelton. I think there's always room for people to save face and to come out looking good. So both sides, developer, we want the development, but we don't want the development at the expense of other things, pressures and other things.
Okay.
And we need to take the
all right, we're getting a call now. Real issues, are you there? Hello? Yeah, real issues. Lower your television or radio, whatever you're listening to us on, because we're hearing the feedback.
Hello?
Yeah, I said, if you're listening on your radio or TV, lower its volume, because we heard a bit of feedback when you answered the call.
Okay, well, I know it down already.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, what I was saying that you were talking about the hotel. It was Blue Water Beach Hotel. It was owned by the St. Helens family.
Yes.
All right? And then, if I remember proper, they were living up where the police chief has the office up on that hill there. You understand?
Yes. I'm told that the late Mrs. Irene Lingaford was a St. Helen.
So it was Blue Water Beach Hotel.
She married Mr. Lingaford.
By St. Helen.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the Bernard place there where Mr. was talking about.
Yeah, the couples. Whatever.
Malabar Beach Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the how you call it, the Bernard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just called to I didn't hear the name when he was talking, but I just called to tell him that the name of the hotel that was there was Blue Water Beach Hotel.
Yeah, we know the names.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Okay, so we got that call on the landline. It's free now because we just got that call, and you can call us on the WhatsApp line 487-9849 and 4533-911. Don't forget, we're going until 2 o'clock. We have a little less than 20 minutes to go on today's program. So we're getting another call right now. Real issues, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hello?
Mr. Sheldon Daniel.
Forward Lucky Nouvelle.
Hello?
Forward Lucky Nouvelle, ou bien?
Mr. Sheldon Daniel.
Na we pon nou forward la, mwen ka we pon nou tout le.
Mwen la, yes. Ti mwen so la priye vitman. Mwen ka di. Ek la nen rasta ki di men ka koutou tous les jours, yes. I di men sa wellness center mon gouj la. Kwa i la ka koutou, i ben mwen non yui, men mwen bliye non maten a chey. Bon mwen nga di si mwen so la priye sa vitman.
Oui.
Papa bon Dieu, mwen ka di ti mwen so priye sa la pour nous toutes. Mais especially pour frère moi, non frère moi yé, Thaddeus. Prayer to St. Jude Thaddeus, also known as Thaddeus, was the brother of St. James. And the century with this follow, in the first century with this follow, also known as Jude Beloved, I have written the book of St. Jude. In the New Testament and Testament in this world, call upon by those who find themselves in the desire. So, contains, he is the person of Saint Impossible Truth. October 28, verse 29 to 30. Rasa, outan nou di me pan person nou eme koute pase Sheldon. Ebe outan ni pas ou la ka koute. Ek mo so la priye sa, I ka touche mwen as fwe mwen, as gason mwen sorry, Thaddeus, Saint Thaddeus. All right, Mr. Sheldon Daniel.
Oui, merci un peu le forward là.
Yes.
Ok, boto bien.
Yes.
Ok, nou kay parler encore.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay, so always a delight, you know,
Yeah,
hearing
to
from
hear.
her, the blessings that she pronounces,
How old is
the
she?
prayers that she offers. I think she told me she was in the late 80s
Late
or
80s.
something like that.
All right.
When last I spoke with her, you know.
Great stuff.
And she disclosed that to me. So, you know, we are going on just about a little less than 15 minutes, or just a little more than 15 minutes to go on to this program. We really appreciate your participation. Give us your thoughts, you know, on the hotel, on the beach, because at the end of the day, this is always the conflict of development. You know, we need the development, we need it for our, and you know, like we've said, I think I've made the point to you before. Tourism isn't something that we are basically being self-immolating, you know, almost like we are masochists doing cruelty to ourselves for. Tourism is very well suited to island nations such as ours, which are otherwise resource poor. We don't have minerals, we don't have oil. You don't have much about the tourism industry in Trinidad and Guyana, you know. You know why? Because they had the oil, the mineral wealth, so they depended upon that. It was bringing them. So, you know, you want, where is your focus? Not that they didn't have a tourism industry, you know, but what do you do at that time? Tourism is a case where we trade what we have in abundance that we don't even pay for. The free sunshine, the beaches, let us say sun, seawater, sand, sightseeing, a whole lot of things like that, for foreign exchange earnings for a clientele that we don't have to ship anything to them. They pay their fares and they come here so they can enjoy those things, and we earn foreign exchange. We have another call on the line. Call on the WhatsApp. Just stay a little while for us, okay? Hi, caller, Real Issues.
Hi, good afternoon, Shelton. Good afternoon, Mr.
Fenilo.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yes, madam, speak up.
You're talking about...
Yes, speak up a bit for us.
So many hotels already in St. Lucia. I know we are not against development, but we have so many hotels, and almost all hotels are near the sea. Is it compulsory that we have hotels by the sea?
I think that the clientele that they're seeking to attract, the visitor from the continental masses of North America and so on, which many of them are not near the sea, they're looking to escape the cold and so on, that they want an experience of sunshine, the beach with nice, clear, clean water that is also warm and so on. And let us face it, the small size of islands such as St. Lucia, we are essentially coastal islands already, whether we like it or not. For example, St. Lucia, where in St. Lucia can you be that you are anything more than a few miles from the sea and from the coast? So you're already essentially a coastal place. So it's not that they want to conquer and take over the beaches. The visitor experience is one, that they want access to a beach of nice, clean, clear seawater and so on. And it's within walking distance. You come out of your hotel room, and from the time you step out, your foot is in that nice water already, you know. I think that's what it is.
Next question I was asked, is that the reason why they want to get rid of the airport?
Which airport?
George Charles.
That debate has been going on for a long time, but I think the keeping it argument won in the end. There are a few people and notable people who are for closing it down and building, you know, we might see a little Riviera, a strip where you have hotels, where you have enough space for parking and so on. But I think the time when that argument might have had a little bit of the upper hand, I believe it's past tense now. You put so much money and investment into it now. I cannot see the economic sense and viability of deciding, you know, to chuck it all aside and throw it away for hotels that can shut down based upon some change in geopolitical, a terrorist strike as we saw after 9/11 and so on. So I don't think that argument is one that is posited and taken seriously anymore. I don't think so.
Some of the reasons why they were saying that it's not used frequently and so, but I'm saying
it was seriously underutilized, and you might be surprised in some of the people who are really in favor of shutting down VG Airport. The late Mr. Peter Begas, you know, was one who was chairman of the tourist board, and he was a lot into tourism, and at some point he wrote an article which I wish I could find now, saying that, look, VG doesn't make any sense. I remember doing an interview with Mr. Craig Bernard, who is the owner of several hotel properties, you know, Rendezvous up in the north, the same couples we talk about there, Malabar. I don't know if he still owns it now. I haven't heard, you know, anything today. Mr. Craig Bernard, you know, felt that, you know, at the end of the day, in the long term, we would profit a lot more from shutting down VG and using it for other developments, including tourism and hotels. And Mr. Craig Bernard was so outspoken. I was surprised to have someone in this position. He said, Boots Stewart is the one really pushing this thing about keeping VG open. Because Boots Stewart has this attitude that it is an insult to him for him to have to land to Viewport and then to drive up all that mountain and twisting thing and so on. And he's the one, he believes, who's pushing the government, whether it was Kenny's government or Compton, to keep it open. But he, Mr. Craig Bernard, didn't see the sense in it. Now I said to myself, this is a man, you know. Because in St. Lucia, sometimes based upon the status and power of somebody, even though Mr. Craig Bernard is not a powerless man. But he was very outspoken on that point. So sometimes some of the voices that have been against keeping VG Airport running might surprise you. But I think the argument for, you know, we've gone so far with it.
But I realize it is very busy. I can hear it. I live close to
it has become better than it used to be.
You know, and even it is used as tourism because they use the helicopters taking people to and from Uwanura Airport.
Yeah.
Right, to land there. So I am saying it's still being used for tourism.
Yeah.
But I don't see why you should close it if it is because of the hotel that is coming there, the height of it or no.
I haven't heard about the closing thing. I have not heard it spoken about. Where did you hear it? You didn't hear it here because Terry, that's not what he was saying.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying this is our little beach. We still wonder our beach.
Yeah.
That's where we go. I usually go. It's close to me. So I don't want a hotel to occupy the whole of the beach, like Sandals and in the north and Ding.
Yeah.
So.
But the beach is there. It's not sold. VG is not sold.
It's not sold, but then Sandals is not sold.
No, let's not go there. Let's take
Landing
VG
is not
Beach.
sold, but when you have to cross, you have to go and ring a bell to go on.
Well, Sandals is kind of different. I think the court ruled that the land there is reclaimed land, not King's Chain, and so it belongs to Sandals.
Yeah.
That's a ruling from the courts. I might be wrong.
Yeah, that was the Pigeon Island Causeway.
Yeah, I understand that one. The causeway it belonged to Sandals. It's like there is no Queen's Chain there.
Yeah.
All right, but Landing.
Yeah.
Landing is on the land of St. Lucia.
Yeah. Well, Landings was built in a kind of way, like as if the beach became part of the hotel, you know. There was that kind of infinity pool, I think, at the start where it just melded into the sea and so on.
Yes, but in order to cross it, you have to go on a boat. You have to get a boat to make you cross.
Yeah. So some funny business took place up there in terms of how things were regarded. The funny thing is that, you know, these things happen, especially the Landings thing, they happen during the term of a Labour government, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes where you expect the progressive, the revolutionary sort of thing to come, they are not dealt with, because at the time the Labour government was dealing with some crisis pertaining to the banana industry that they thought that they could have come in and revive it and work with it. They went through a crisis. They tried international financial services, offshore, whatever they called it, and that didn't quite work out. The fight down against it was the world was topsy-turvy with WTO and the realigning of trade relationships and trade rules. It was dread at the time, you know.
And I feel whether it be labor or whatever, I just want everything be done for the benefit of for the people. That's what we said. It's for the people. Whether it be tourists having hotels, it's for the people. You get people to work. Yes, we agree with that and so on. But we also need our beach
Yes.
to make sure that we leave our beach clear for us so that we can enjoy.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, we have another caller on the WhatsApp line. Hi, Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
Hi, good afternoon.
And Mr. Fenelon.
Good afternoon.
Will you accept if I speak on another issue aside from the hotel, please? Will you?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Looking at the baton relay, I find it very, very, very interesting. The fact that it highlights our heroes, some of the people we don't regard too much. When I say we don't regard, we don't even remember they are there and how they contribute to national development and how futuristic the impact can be on our society. But I want to highlight something I saw happen some years and years and years ago. I don't know if it's 5 or 6 years ago. 2 adults had a fight in the streets of Castries. It was after school. And there was this young man, I'll not say boy, I mean, let me have some respect for him. I do not know him anyway. He was in his school uniform. As if to me, his uniform looked like the entry post school uniform. And this young boy single-handedly quelled that fight. And I found this so heroic, although it was a risk. I found it so heroic of this young man from school to quell a fight. And nowadays what happens when things are happening, people are quick to take their telephone and whatever, put it up and make a mess of people. And I look at this young man as my hero. I don't know him. I wonder where is he, what is he now? But with all what is happening now, I'm seeing we have so many heroes. And I just want, since we have the National Baton Relay, I am looking at him as a hero. I want to remember him. Ask me where he is, I do not know. And another thing I want to speak about, yesterday I was looking at, it was in, what day was it? They were looking at the children with disabilities, the people with disabilities. And there was a particular place, they took the young ladies, they were doing hairdressing and they highlighted them. I found this very, very, very good. And the baton relay, I think it is something to continue and to show our work in St. Lucia and to give people credit for their work.
Yes. Thank you very much.
But this young man, I respect him. I do not know. I think Entripo should know. Everybody should know. I mean, I respect this young man. I as if I can put this man in the battle, really. Let the young people see, because we have so much negativity, so many bad things to say about the young people. And look at this young man, okay?
Okay. Right.
Thank you for accepting my call.
Okay, thank you very much. I thought I saw a call coming in on the landline. Yes, okay, there it is. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
You know, Shelton, I mean, you guys sound like educators. But here's my thing. The government of People's Republic of Taiwan, who we actually have diplomatic relationship with. Shelton, what are with the whole aspect of technology? I remember during the COVID, Taiwan was perhaps one of the only countries making billions, you know, of microchips. Making billions of microchips.
Who was making billions of microchips?
Taiwan, the Taiwan, Taiwanese. Because Taiwan produces a lot of the chips that this technological era deals with. Now, I realize we in the third world, I hate to use that term, but Where are we going? We're talking about tourism. Tourism is a big slave camp that our people work for literally nothing. Our government gives them millions of dollars, free holidays. We don't own the hotels. We have no benefit literally except for the little head tax we are getting from them. What about our government linking with countries like Taiwan and teaching our children technology, teaching our children how to make things? You know, we can do a lot more than dealing with, it's like from slavery on the plantation to tourism. That is how I see it, okay? And we're still putting so much emphasis on bananas. I mean, it's like we're not hearing. We are seeing there is not a market for bananas anymore. But I heard the government talking about bananas. People just enhance and embrace technology.
But what you want is a diversified economy. Even with the technology, you should not just plunge everything into chip making and so on.
But we're putting everything in tourism now.
That's not true, my friend. That's not true. We have an economy, but it takes a long time to develop. For example, we like to talk about Taiwan and Singapore, but what the miracles, as we like to talk them, they didn't happen overnight.
Shelton, I talk about the longest journey started for system. What are our perception about technology? We see this thing controlling the world. Taiwan is a master going forward. We have diplomatic conversation with Taiwan. We should be tapping their brain, their system. So when there is, like you said, 911 and there is this disaster there, we can be surviving beautifully by still being able to manufacture components. Okay? Let us deal with, I always say that, why are we so much engulfing? You know, tourism is, like I said, a big slave camp.
Okay, we have to go now. The time is creeping up on us. We have to go now. All right, thank you very much. You know, a lot of people have this kind of. Okay, let's take that last call.
You're cheaper on the outside.
Yeah, you have just about a minute or so, caller. Go ahead.
The taxi with the service.
Punta Cana is in Mexico, Dominican Republic.
All right, okay. This obviously is not a call for. We must have a deeper discussion on that sometime. There are so many other countries that have gone into things like electronic component manufacturing, and they are struggling. The competition is stiff. There are those that have a head start against us. A lot of times when Silicon Valley wants to offshore to take advantage of lower taxes, they add a boost to those places. South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, those places, they go to them. So they have a head start. Now we talk about them. These are imported industries, but then what they do is that they begin to nationalize and think them. So they have the benefit of having worked with those giants and so on, so that they create their own domestic spin-offs and take the lead in those things. The Singapores and so on, they also invested heavily for many decades in the education of their people. They didn't just do it overnight, they invested even more than they could afford. Lee Kuan Yew and those people, they saw the benefits about investing. So when Philip J. Pierre comes with the youth economy, when they come with those things, it is exactly that kind of mindset that we're not going to turn into a Singapore overnight. But if we begin to invest, especially in the young people, in the next 30 years, they will be the 50-year-old executives and managers and industrial engineers and so on. So there's a lot that we have to do, but we're swimming against the tide. We're slamming our heads against bricks. We have to be persistent and we have to go now. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
The winning numbers for the midday draw of Wednesday, 11 February 2026 were Double Daily Grand 2, 3, 4, 22. Big 4, 4, 9, 8, 7. Big 4 Multi-X FP. Pick 2, 0, 2. Pick 2 Multi-X 2X. One off 3, 8, 2. Lucky 3, 7, 2, 9. Lucky 3 Multi-X FP.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back.